presentation on September 30th, which was 9:30, which I realized yesterday. And we really are encouraging directors to come to the Early Education and Care Board meeting in Boston and share their comments during the public comment. And so what we'll do is we put together kind of a 101, and thanks to Don Danette and Kim Davenport, who really helped kind of spearhead this effort and really has helped think about how do we get all this in writing and give people clues and support about how to prepare public comment. And it's actually called Statements from the Public. And so this is the Google Doc that we can put the link in chat. But if you know a director, if you are a director, and we know that it's hard to get to Boston, um, from 1 to 4 on a weekday. But we would encourage you to think about how you can make it happen if you are interested in going. And so you can see Donna also did a survey and has already shared the survey results in writing with the EEC board meeting for last month. So we also have a Google form where folks can sign up if they're interested in going, just so we get a sense for how many people are thinking about coming. So the form has the meeting information. It's Wednesday, November 13th, 1 to 4 at 50 Milk Street. So if the department has moved from Sleeper Street, so if you were used to going there, this is a new location. Parking can be really tough. So doing some research, there are places where you can kind of reserve a parking spot the night before. And then when you get there, when you check in with security about what floor the meeting room is on. And when you walk into where the meeting is, it is a wall of glass. So that might be intimidating if you're running late. But to find a seat, but try to get there as early as you can. And so this is the agenda for the November meeting is not posted yet. The Department of Early Education and Care Board is under the the public meeting law. So they have to post the agenda 48 hours before the actual meeting. So if you will put the link is on the document to keep checking the agenda. But typically, this is what the agenda looks like. There's welcoming comments from the chair, Paul Belcedo. There's comments from the secretary, Tutwiler. And then there are comments from Commissioner Kershaw. And they can run from like a 5-minute update each or longer. And so it's sometimes tricky to know the timing. And then often comes statements from the public. Now, remember, the board meeting agenda is not posted yet, so things may shift. But and you can see under the statements of the public, the Board of Early Education Care makes 30 minutes available for persons in the audience to address the board in specific agenda items. So they ask folks to stick to 3 minutes, which is not a long time. Although written material of any length can be submitted, the board, so if you're coming together with groups, they ask you to kind of group together. And so folks can choose to do that or not, but just if there are many people that show up, they want to try to stick within that 30-minute window, so they probably will use a timer. And if you want help preparing your comments, we can help you. We can share sample templates. It would be great to have a different variety and perspectives of stories. So Donna has thought about kind of incoming directors and what you need. Current directors, how do we stabilize and support you? Kind of, what are you facing every day? And then directors leaving are considering leaving the field. And so Donna, I'll go to you for a minute if you just want to talk about kind of what your survey showed and how this is all connected to that.
I'll try. I'm just not in a great place today. um, so the survey really showed that what I was seeing from kind of a small sampling on Facebook groups and in a statewide email thread was really what bears out the idea that directors have been holding the people who are holding the children and the families, and we've been focusing on children and families. We've been focusing on our educators, and all those are really critical steps, but we have to take that next step to go a little bit wider and look at the support needed for directors. So the biggest issues were funding and staffing, the lack of work-life balance. So most directors are working at least 10 to 14-hour days. Lots of people are working weekends too. I had somebody fill out the survey at 2 o'clock in the morning. So those are just some things that really show that this is a group that's in trouble, and they're the group that's holding the children and families. And that's the kind of thing I've been thinking of the past couple days, is that we need to figure out who's holding them and how do we hold them. But it's complicated by the fact that we're a group that doesn't typically ask for help. And also this is part of what started it. I started noticing how many people were posting anonymously as opposed to during the pandemic. Nobody was posting anonymously. And now that's kind of what first cued me in, like, what's going on here? And people weren't willing to share their struggles with their names attached.
Right.
And so that's kind of what started it. I feel like a couple people were canaries in the coal mine, like JC, who spoke on the 9:30 call on 9:30. And there seemed to be a big group that was either reaching retirement age, wanting to look at retirement early, or simply saying, I can't keep doing this. I'm needing to be medicated. It's affecting my physical and mental health. So I think that's why I shone a light on the problem.
Well, thank you for that. And for and for making that connection to the survey. I don't know why everything just highlighted. A few things to keep in mind when you are preparing. You need to keep your comments to 3 minutes. It's best to write them out, practice saying them out loud. Use a timer. 3 minutes goes fast. It's very jarring when you're in the middle of your introduction and the beeper goes off. Assume positive intent. So assume the board is trying to make good decision. Assume the board is interested in hearing what you have to say. Um, just speak and don't kind of come after it in that way. Set the context, starting with your first and last name, the name of your program, where it's located, how many children families you serve, a breakdown of your funding. It doesn't have to be so in the weeds, but give the listeners an idea of like how your program is funded, how long, how many staff are in your program, and how long you've been in the field. These are just kind of basic things. You don't have to do necessarily all of them, but you want to set the context. You want to share one or two highlights, challenges, wins, worries. Pick one or two things and focus on. You can't tell your whole story and share all the challenges in 3 minutes. Pick one or two. Share solutions. What could help? What do you want the board members to know? Thank you, and then invite them for a visit and offer to host a focus group or other ways to help. And then some logistics. When you arrive, get there between 12:30 and 12:45. There'll be a sheet to sign up if you want to speak. You may walk in and think it's a sign-in attendance, but it's a sign-in for the public comment. And as we talk about that, we know Harold and Paula signed in for attendance, and they were called first to testify in Springfield at the public meeting. I see that it's Paula's birthday. Happy birthday, Paula. Look for a place to sit. So when you sign up, that's the sheet that Paul Belsito will use when he calls the names. Find a deep place and take a deep breath. Look for Donna Danette. She will be there. When your name gets called, you will go up to the table, sit down, and use the microphone. Take a deep breath and speak clearly and slowly. They may set a timer. Don't be surprised if it goes off. Try to wrap up your comments. When you finish, they will thank you. So don't jump up. Sometimes when we finish speaking, our natural inclination is like, get out of there. Take a deep breath, kind of look them in the eye. They may have questions. They will not be gotcha questions. They will be kind of more information questions. They may not have questions. So don't kind of take anything personally either way. Um, Bring copies of your remarks to leave with board members or follow up and send it to them by email to the commissioner's mailbox, because that will help them. We are going to have two testifying at the EEC board pep rallies next week. So it'll be before the 9:30 call from 9 to 9:30 on Tuesday and Wednesday. And we're going to use the same Zoom link. And then let us know what else you need to know. I think that, we don't need hundreds of people coming, but it would be great to have folks come and share, their perspectives. Okay, let me go to the chat. Are you doing something like this for December's meeting? I would say like we could do something like this at every board meeting. We could have family childcare providers, try to attend. We have also thought about how can we work with the department around video testimony so that you don't have to come. I think we see this board meeting in November as a first step, as kind of a step of getting folks engaged maybe in a different way than you have been before. But I think we can think about this. And because I think the board, they make this time available for people. So I think we should think about opportunities to do it. Um, okay. Thank you for everybody for adding your why. Um, so I work at okay. So Donna, there was a question about do we have stats on why people are preferring to be anonymous for now? No, I think there are a lot of data points. I noticed that as well, Donna. Sometimes I hesitate to comment on posts because I cannot be anonymous. I would love to privately dig deeper into this. What are our fears and sharing our struggles? So thank you, Donna, for sharing both your email. I guess any thoughts or people who are interested, we have a Google sign up form as well so that we can just kind of track and support people who are interested in coming. And let's see, we have 5 responses. We have 5 folks interested in attending, which is great. I guess especially if you are a director, what is anything resonating with you now? What do you hope to share? We also added on the Google form of sign up, like I can't be there, but I still want to figure out a way to share my story.
I would love to hear from directors, like, what are you hoping that those of us who are going to be able to testify, what are the points you're wanting us to make sure we hit?
And Kelly adds, I'm going to try to practice and learn how to make public comment, even if I don't speak. Pause and vouchers has been really challenging for our centers. Okay, so yeah, we've heard that.
One of the things that I think makes things difficult for directors is the multiple funding streams that require multiple meetings for directors and multiple reporting systems, often asking for the exact same data, but in different websites.
Right.
And so directors have to learn each one and input data over and over and over again. And that is problematic. The, Staffing clearly is an issue, but
Yep.
they're aware of it and trying. Um, but I think the other big issue is the number of children that we're seeing now with difficult behaviors, either because they're have experienced trauma or they are on the spectrum. And so um, what that means is directors are going into classrooms to support teachers when children are having difficult behaviors and keep the classroom safe. Um, I know the department is aware of it. Some things I would recommend is smaller class sizes and or more teachers. Of course, they're not out there in the classroom, because that makes it doable. We are desperately trying not to throw children out of programs. We know what the impact of that is, but there's a cost to that, and it's not funded.
Right.
Smaller class sizes and less children in a classroom has a financial impact on a program that is pretty serious. Um, and So we need more resources. Difficult to ask in a time when federal resources may now be cut away.
Thanks, Bernadette. And there's some things in chat. Kim says hearing about CCFA has been painful. The EC ratio recommendations are outdated. They need to be updated. So here's a good example. They are going to work on the regulations. So you can say, as you work on the regulations, here are some things to keep in mind. As Bernadette, you said, like they know about the staffing. It's good to like make it real. I have this many educators. I have, this many kids. Opportunities for innovative organizational models, streamline funding, streamline paperwork, highlighting curriculum, not just safety, directors of PD with organizational and business schools, voucher barriers across the board, the need for more realistic expectations when it comes to safe ratios and class sizes, shine a light on the centers that fall between large centers and family childcare, and family like cooperatives, faith-based, Montessori, outdoor, right? Great. We will also think about your language. So even though the board is the board of the Department of Education and Care, they might not know words that we use every day, like attrition or even with the vouchers being frozen. Remember that the legislature is allocating the money to EEC to spend. So if we want to get more money, we have to go to the legislature. But you can still say, because this is where we are, the wait list, it's been hard to get people off the wait list. So back to assuming positive intent. Well, thank you for this chat. We will maybe also on the Google Doc include some of these so folks can see kind of what other people have said. We'll include the chat. And so folks can, personalize their stories and their public comment. So I really want to thank each of you for joining us this morning and for indulging the 9:30 call pause. And please continue to reach out. Let us know what you need. And today is only Wednesday, so we will be back tomorrow. And on the call tomorrow, we will hear from Ashley White, the Director of Research at EEC. So we're excited to hear about that. So please remember the spirit of the 9:30 call and our community, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.